Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 30th December 2023. My name is TSV Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. Hardan, 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 Haribol, TRSV, Nectar, NECTAR, Nectar. In this particular vlog, in all my previous videos, we have been trying to discuss about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on this material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video in this vlog is a no exception to this rule. In fact, it is a mere continuation of all that we have been trying to do in all my previous videos. So kindly subscribe to this vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of all my previous, present, and future videos. So let us continue with the topic of a discussion for today's video. In the past few videos, we have been trying to discuss and analyze at length a particular term called mind, which plays a very perennial role in the psyche and life of every human living entity, whether male or female, in a lifetime in the society in this material world. We all know by now that this mind, which is made up of ether and hence is subtle in nature, is the main instrument that drives this human chariot called the living human entity all around his or her lifetime for a particular purpose in life. Without the existence of this mind, this chariot called the human living entity, whether male or female, ceases to operate, and the gross body, which is the fourth layer of a material body that envelops the spirit soul, drops permanently to the ground, and a particular lifetime of that human living entity ceases to exist. This mind is in contact with or entwined with the three layers of subtle body that also envelop this spirit soul. The spirit soul, when it comes in touch with the material world, causes a particular type of friction which is not appreciated by this material world. To avoid the itching caused by such friction, the material world envelops this individual a raw, unevolved spirit soul with four layers of its own material body. These are called the first layer of causal body of intelligence and logic, second layer of astral body of mind, feelings, and emotions, the third body of etheric senses being five in number, namely sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch, and the fourth layer of gross body made up of four elements, namely air, fire, water, and earth. This particular mind is the main repository of all vibrations that emanate out of the three subtle bodies and are meant for the fourth gross body, and the emanations of vibrations from these three subtle bodies is duly transmitted to this instrument called mind. This mind is directly connected to a mass of tissue called brain, which is safely embedded into the cranium of the gross body of that particular living entity. When these emanations from the three subtle bodies reach this repository called mind, this mind, after some initial processing, transmits the same vibrations to that brain. This brain receives all these transmissions of all vibrations from all the three subtle bodies and selects few of them for future processing. This selection of the total number of vibrations depends on the destiny, karma, age, maturity, experience, knowledge, skill, talent, upbringing, atmosphere, surroundings, choices, preferences, whims, and fantasies of that particular human living entity, whether male or female. When such vibrations are selected, the brain duly begins to process those vibrations and extract a juice out of such vibrations, which is duly percolated by that brain through the gross body of that human living entity. Depending upon the quality of such juice, that particular human living entity through his or her gross body reacts or acts into this society in a lifetime in this material world. In other words, it is the choice of vibrations from the three subtle bodies transmitted to the brain through the mind that are solely responsible directly or indirectly to the actions and the reactions of that particular human living entity. Selection of vibrations is made from the wholesale of vibrations thus transmitted by the mind to the brain. Hence, solely it is that brain and that human living entity which are responsible for the actions or reactions of that particular human living entity, whether male or female. That is precisely the reason for the multifarious variety of human living entities in this material world according to their sex, their age, their experience, maturity, skill, intellectual faculties, cerebral involvement, and the like. Hence, we cannot say that everything is happening by chance. Actually, as per the arrangement of this material world, every human living entity, whether male or female, is equipped with one individual mind. That individual mind is the one that sends the vibrations from the three subtle bodies of that individual living entity to that individual living entity's individual brain. Hence, everything that happens in the lifetime of a living entity is only solely because of that particular human living entity only. This is repeated in this video again and again only to caution you that you alone are responsible for whatever happens to you in a particular lifetime. It is only a result of your own karma or destiny pertaining to your efforts in this lifetime or in a past lifetime. Nothing happens without a reason. Whatever actions or reactions a particular living entity faces in this society in a particular lifetime is solely based on his or her destiny or karma. What you say or do comes back to you one day or the other with interest. The initial effort or action from you, may not be that significant according to your own thoughts, but it may have had a due effect on other living entities and the atmosphere in the material world. As a result of which, reactions from all those living entities join together to hit your own karma so that you either enjoy or suffer your own efforts in a lifetime, in that particular lifetime itself. However, it usually happens that not all karmas of a lifetime get their reactions in that particular lifetime itself. You may be deserving more than you got for your own efforts and actions in a lifetime. In such a case, the unworked karma or destiny of a lifetime is stored in your own psyche and superconscious memory for you to be used in your next lifetime. This storage is known as Sanchit Karma. Unworked karma from various lifetimes are stored in that Sanchit Karma. When you take another birth in another lifetime, a slice of that karma is used by you as a foundation for your next birth. That is precisely the reason why consciously, subconsciously, or superconsciously you are naturally acclimatized to the actions and reactions that you face from the society in your next birth. Some conscious memory, subconscious memory, or superconscious memory keeps reminding you that whatever you are suffering or enjoying in a particular lifetime is actually based on the reactions from your own actions in a previous lifetime. It is a slice of your Sanchit karma, which is called Prarabdha karma, which has become the foundation for your current lifetime. As mentioned before, every human a living entity in this mutual world or in this material world, whether male or female, has an individual mind. Hence, the complete multitude of society in this material world has as many individual minds. Of the multitude in the society in a particular lifetime, there are broadly three categories. The first category, which comprises of a minimum of 75% of the multitude, is of very mundane, vegetative human living entities, both male and female female who move around in this material world in a particular lifetime as zombies. These people have not yet got acclimatized enough to realize that they have come here with a purpose in life. Actually, to be fair, I would say that this is like a tree trunk. 100% of a multitude of human living entities comprises a tree trunk. Of these, 75% remain zombies. But however, after a particular height, when this tree trunk reaches a particular height, it gets divided into two branches. One comprises of human living entities who are around 20% of the same 100%, and the other branch is of the chosen 5% who are the other branch of the same tree trunk. To make matters more clear, I would try to analyze this situation. There is one tree trunk comprising of 100% human living entities, both male and female. 75% remain in that tree trunk. However, after this tree trunk reaches a particular height, it branches off into two. One branch is the thick 20% of human living entities, and the other is of the five remaining human living entities, and these five are called the chosen ones. The 20% human living entities who have stopped behaving and going around trance like and like zombies is of those human living entities who worship the dark negative forces that have been existing in this material world for times immemorial. The other 5% chosen ones are those who gravitate towards and who worship the positive material and spiritual forces that guide these living entities towards final self realization, liberation from birth and death, and final deliverance to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like evolved, intelligent, experienced spirit souls. So, this is the actual arrangement. We have been trying to analyze several case histories to understand this theory better. We discussed several case histories belonging to the chosen 5% of this society. However, to be fair to everyone. We condescended to talk about the case histories of those who worship the dark negative forces of this material world, and these living entities, both male and female, comprise of 20% of human living entities. The other 75% being in a vegetative state do not have any individuality of their own that deserves mention while discussing case histories. However, this 20% does deserve a mention in our case histories. In that process, in my previous video, we began talking about one particular living entity called Genghis Khan, who was born in Mongolia as Temujin in the 13th century of this material world. We are discussing his case history to know why his brain operated the way it did. Yes, it is indeed a fact that the living entity who was born as Temujin and later became notorious as Genghis Khan must have had some Sanchit karma of his own, which forced him to take a slice called Prarabdha karma from the Sanchit karma that he already had and which was laid as a foundation for his birth as Temujin alias Genghis Khan. However, while analyzing the mind of this particular living entity, we must grudgingly or otherwise take into consideration all those forces which were happening in his life in that particular lifetime in this material world. We know about the harsh climate, the upbringing, and the surrounding of Timudin, which made him a very, very tough, apathetic character and who did not want to brook any opposition while ruling other countrymen of his ilk. To further it, the cruelty, callousness, apathy, and sadism of one particular king or chieftain called Sarfaraz of Iran made this Genghis Khan sadistic more and more, as a result of which this guy decided to use his life in this lifetime to act as a scourge for this world, which was resorting to all sorts of nefarious activities or was indifferent to the cruel, sadistic happenings around it without protesting against them. This Genghis Khan collected a formidable force of guys from his own tribe and from other tribes and brought them under his own umbrella of rule. We shall continue our discussion about the life of Genghis Khan in my next video. This is all I wanted to talk about in this particular video. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this matter in this video. Please give me your own expert views, thoughts, ideas, and opinions so that I may blend everything together for the sake of this society. Before concluding, let me remind you that I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.